Okay. Welcome to Jonesy Cast. I'm Jonesy, and this is the cast. Like and subscribe. Uh, I prefer likes because that's a easier request, but subs are awesome too. Hey, this is for user Na Insecurity 4 minutes ago on relationship advice. Is it worth waiting for my boyfriend 19 male to change, get better, or should I 19 female move on? Okay, so this is for the OP. I'm going to go through it slowly. Um, if you want the full context to have a read of what she's written, I'll leave the link in the description. Okay, so for now, insecurity. I've been staying with my boyfriend most of the quarantine, and when I visited my family 3 hours away, I realized he's been displaying a lot of red flags. Safe to say I broke down. I was still extremely hurt. Um, I was still am extremely hurt and embarrassed. I didn't see the signs sooner. Some things he did was try to control what I would wear. Okay, so it looks like there's a bit of controlling behavior going on, and it's actually not that uncommon. I don't know if you know that. It's pretty common that people in general try to control their surroundings, and they try to control situations, and they try to control all the elements. So I work in security. I'm 32 male and I work in security. And the one thing that they teach you in the basic security training course where I live in Australia is you need to control the situation. It's the same thing that the police do. You need to control the situation, because if you're not in control, then someone else is in control. And in the job that I have, that can be a problem, right? Now, you may think, well, not everyone's a bouncer or not everyone's a cop. That's true. But we have these evolutionary kind of things going off in us that say, you need to control the situation or things are going to go wrong. Now, it could be the case that this young man has trauma. It could be the case that he's been controlled by a mother or a father, or like, I find that most of the ways that men communicate are the way they've seen other men communicate. Okay, so there's a couple of things here that are definitely red flags. He's trying to control what I wear. He also made me feel bad for talking with male university peers. Now, here's where it's a problem. He told me if I broke up with him, he wouldn't trust anyone else ever again. That is classic control through guilt behavior. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't respond well to guilt, because guilt is, I'm willing to feel guilty for the things I have done, but I also trust my conscience. I'm not willing to feel guilty for the things you think I should feel guilty for, right? If you want to communicate to me that you think I've messed up, that's fine. But then to tell me how to feel is a whole different ballgame, right? So I think Homeboy here is using, sorry, I'm just trying to make sure my mic's plugged in. I think Homeboy here is using some definitely manipulation, which you already know. He said he wouldn't trust anyone else ever again. That's his problem. That's his problem. Okay. Now, whether or not you do break up with him, that's his problem. Because if you're the only one in the world that he trusts, because that's what that tells me. It tells me that he doesn't see a future without you, which is sort of a problem. Like, it's sort of romantic to say to someone that, baby, I've got no future without you. But at the same time, look, the one thing that me and my girlfriend both know is that if we break up, I'll be okay. I don't know about her. I think she would be, but I don't know. I don't plan to do it because I fucking love her, but I know that I'll be okay. As long as I'm not dead, I will be okay. And the problem that this guy has is that if you're the only one in his life that he trusts, that lowers the circle of friends to just a single direction, right? And that's a problem because it puts the burden of his trust issues onto you. Also, keep in mind that, I just lost that thought. He got drunk and texted me saying, I'm just using him as a rebound. been together for over a year. He would always look over my shoulder when I was texting people or ask what we were talking about. Look, it's just, yeah, you know what it is. I told him it's wrong and he's going to see a psychologist. Now, however, his first session back, he said that the reason why this stuff is happening is because we need to integrate each other into our friendship groups more. That's not true. I don't know where he got that, if he got it from the psychologist or he got it from himself, or the psychologist has said something and he's misinterpreted it. But it's certainly a good thing. Aside from this issue, just to take another issue aside, it's certainly good to have common friends, right? But those common friends are not going to be there when you two are in the silence and the quiet of your bedroom or just running around the house and texting people and he's being controlling. And so, like, if he's saying that we need to integrate each other into our friend groups more, does he expect your entire friendship group to be females and he's the only male you can talk to? That's fucking stupid. I'm at a loss for what to do. Of course you are. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells and can't talk about it with him because he gets hurt when I bring it up. Okay. So I said this on another video, but I'll say it again. It's that some people make it hard to tell them the truth. Okay. And you will know this as soon as I explain this to you. Okay. Some people, when you tell them the truth, they become a little bitch and they start pissing and moaning and they start talking about the fact that they're hurt or they can't handle it or XYZ or they're not willing to take responsibility for their actions. They're not willing to acknowledge that they've done anything wrong. It's some people make it very hard to tell them the truth, and those people nearly all of the time get cheated on, they get lied to, they get blindsided by divorce papers and a lawyer calling them. They lose custody of their children. They lose the house. All of it. It's fucked because they will not allow others to tell them the truth because their ego is so fragile. Their sense of self is so fragile that they can't handle the truth. In the quiet words of Tom Cruise or Jack Nicholson, was it? Anyway, that's not your problem. Again, the fact that this guy is too weak to handle the truth is not your problem. It's your problem now, but I don't think that you should take that into consideration when making the decision to break up with him, right? If that is what you want to do. I'm not saying it is, but if that is what you want to do. The trust is obviously broken. Okay, now, being that it is you who is saying that the trust is broken, it seems to me that you two are done. I don't know. It could be rekindled, but the problem is when a fire goes out, you need to put more wood on it and use another spark. Okay. So the question is, who's going to be the spark? Who's going to put the wood on? If he's not, like, you find yourself now at the age of 19 in a relationship with a guy who has more issues than he can deal with. Now, I have issues, but I don't have more than I can deal with. There are some days that I feel that way, but what I do know is that there are a lot of people who have had life much worse than I have had, and they are fine. Okay, and so if this guy is unable to communicate with you honestly, and if he's unwilling to take responsibility for his part. Now, having said that, he did go to counseling to see a psychologist. So he's obviously taken your complaint about him seriously. The question is not his intent. The question is his capacity. Okay, I'll give you a very short story. When I was 23, I dated a girl who was 19. Now, I made that girl promises that I couldn't keep, but I didn't know that I couldn't keep them. I remember looking her in the eyes when I was in bed with her, and I said to her, "How do you like the sound of forever?" And she goes, "Yes." And it was hard for me to realize that all of my intentions were pure. In that moment, I genuinely meant, and over the course of the relationship, and even after this moment, over the course of the relationship, I genuinely meant to spend forever with her. Okay. But the problem was I didn't know that I didn't have the capacity to keep my promises. Now, we broke up after about 2 years of, off and on, and then a single year of solid relationship. And so the question isn't necessarily his intent. The question is his capacity. Will he get, so in every relationship, I'll try to move the mic here. In every relationship, there's the meeting line here. You're here, he's here. Okay. And that's what you want. Okay. Just move my hands. Yeah. Now, if you are here and this is an awesome relationship and then he is over here, well, you're not meeting in the middle. Okay. So you have to meet in the middle. Now the question is, does he have the capacity to meet you in the middle? Not does he have the intent? Because of course he's always going to say he has the intent, right? But it's like, and I'm sure that there's other issues surrounding this that are causing this to happen. Now, that's the question that I would ask yourself. Do you think this man has the ability to keep his promises? Okay. The trust is broken, obviously. My dad is emotionally abusive, so I know what the signs are and spent most of my life learning how to deal with that. But the fact that this is my partner who I love and wanted to be with romantically has done this to me now, I don't know what to do. You do know what to do. Let's be very honest here, okay? And I know that I'm talking and you're listening and you can't talk back. I understand that. But let's be very honest with yourself right now. Do you know what to do and you're too afraid to do it? Or you want to give him more chances? You don't want to pull the trigger because of everything that means? I don't know. But I think that the way that we speak about ourselves is very important. And I think you do know what to do, but you just need the courage. And that's fine. Okay. Now, I could be wrong. I could be 100% wrong. I could be wrong. And I'm willing to admit that. The trust is broken. He wants us to do couples counseling, which I'm open to, but I don't see how it will help us. Okay, that's a problem. If you are going to do couples counseling, you have to have a positive attitude and an open mind and heart. If he's made that suggestion, I like that he's made that suggestion because he's not he's not rocking up to the psychologist like a 5-year-old throwing a tantrum being like, don't want to do this. He's suggested couples counseling. Now, here is where it gets fucking complex. He has been placed in my unsafe zone where my body has a traumatic reaction to us being intimate. I cry, shake, and get a pit in your stomach, I assume, when we go further than just kissing and touching. Look, this seems like a problem. This seems like a real big problem. And I don't think you should feel guilty about that. I think that is probably leading you to have some issues in your relationship as well. The fact that you're experiencing a mild form of trauma every time you try to be intimate. And the problem isn't intimacy or trauma. The problem is that when intimacy and trauma get mixed, it becomes a shit sandwich, right? And that's why rape is so bad. It's not because you stole something from someone. It's because you stole their ability to connect with a human in a physical way, sexually, okay? That is the real core issue with rape. The fact that the next time that girl is going to have a sexual experience, she's going to have flashbacks and trauma. It's one of the reasons it's so bad, right? Sorry, I just have to drink. So, I don't want to break up because I hate hurting people. Okay, that's the wrong reason to not want to break up. I'm going to be honest with you. It's the wrong reason to not want to break up. And he's trying to get better, I think. I just don't know what's best for me. Hence why I'm asking for different perspectives. And hopefully someone... thanks for reading. Okay, here's what you do. If you need to watch this video a few times so that you can go over what I just said, sweet. But here's what you do. Number 1, write down what you want in a relationship. Number 2, write down what you don't want in a relationship. Number 3, write down what you want in a man. And number 4, write down what you want to be, the woman you want to be. Okay. Now, I say that in every video. Watch a few of my other videos if the title seems relevant to you. But I say in nearly every video, you need to write down what you want because that will be your compass for situations like this. Okay. Because you can turn to that list of things you want and don't want. And you can say, all right, it's been 3 months. He hasn't met the list. I need to get out of here. Or he's meeting the list. So we're on track. You need to have a guide. Nobody got to Australia by not reading a map, I think. But anyway, the metaphor's there. You need a map of the territory of this relationship. You need a plan, okay? What happens if X happens? What happens if Y happens? What happens if Z happens? Okay, so that's what I would be doing. Now, the second thing you do is have a conversation with him in which you express your honest opinion, if you feel safe to do so, because like relationships are very, very hard. And if you can't have a conversation about the things that he feels uncomfortable having a conversation about, how are you going to have a conversation about plans for children, how much you want to spend on a house, discussions about religion if you have it. There's so many, like who gets power of attorney if he becomes a potato, or you do? Who like there are serious discussions that you need to have, because relationships become legal contracts. Okay, so now look, I'll leave you with this. I hope this video has helped, but I will leave you with this. Just remember this: you are 19 years old. It doesn't matter if you look like a foot or you look like a supermodel. You're 19 years old and you're a female. You're gonna come across another guy. I don't want to break up because I hate hurting people. That's the wrong reason to not want to break up. Okay, the right reason to not want to break up is because you love him and you want to be with him and those other things. Okay, but there is something else that I'll tell you, which is that. Sorry, just back on this. I would bet all my money that you're going to find someone else. Okay, you're 19. Now, this is the other thing I was going to tell you. If you break up with him, don't go to another guy. Build yourself into the woman that you want to be so that you can meet the man you want to have. Okay? I hope this video helps, and good luck. I know that this is a clusterfuck, and I've seen this dozens of times with different women who are in relationships and they don't know what to do. And guys, and so good luck.